Suppose for a minute that you are waiting in a queue for something that you have passionately want and require. You have been standing in the queue for 2 years and have tackled anxieties, depression, mental breakdown all along. Finally, with your hard work and sheer will, you just reach the first position in the line. Now, suddenly, someone appears in front of you, breaking the line, and you can't do anything about it. He gets hold of the thing that you aspired, and then you can't get one because the stock is over now. And the reason that he could do it successfully was that it is a public opinion that his ancestors, some hundred or so years ago, faced discrimination by someone that you don't even know or might even not be related to. You might console your heart by thinking that, okay, his family was discriminated against a long time back, so it is okay for him to avail this facility. But then you get to know that his father and even grandfather had also availed the same power of facility and have successfully reaped a fortune from it. Just think for a minute what your feelings, your mental and emotional state would be. Sounds like a comical situation, right? Well, this is the condition that 7.6 lakh general category candidates face each year after the JEE and NEET result, and keep in mind that these aren't just numbers. These are young souls who then consider themselves useless and a liability for their parents. My friends, I present to you the great Indian reservation system. Our constitution makers introduced reservation only for scheduled caste and tribes in jobs and admission to colleges, that too for 10 years, though with possible extension if needed be. They rejected Dr. Ambedkar's suggestion that it should be for a fixed period of 30 or 40 years with no provision for extension. Thus, the system has been extended every 10 years for nearly 70 years. The scheme has been extended to the other backward classes as well. And recently, to the EWS category, it has created such a vested interest that there appears to be no way that it will never end. The reservation system is being perpetuated not out of hatred for the upper caste, but because it has become an enormous source of wealth and opportunity for the beneficiaries. There must be thousands of such people who do not want to make use of the reservation system, but the persons which we hear of and see on the TV are a different kind. They insist all the time how badly they have been treated. Caste is a permanent attribute that cannot be removed or lost. Thus, reservation based upon caste has identified certain communities as deserving and some other as undeserving of government patronage for all time. If reservation had been based upon income rather than the caste, for instance, all the BPL families practically, no scheduled caste or scheduled tribe would have been excluded, but the beneficiaries would have changed every generation. Further, it should not have been at the tertiary level, but at the primary and secondary level in the best schools in the country. Then the bitterness of the caste divisions would not have been politically perpetuated as they are now. As matter stands, I am not sure whether when the most important tipping point that there is an end to everything will occur in this case. There is always a saying that caste system is bad and everyone opposes it, but at the same time everyone is okay with a reservation system based upon caste. This behavior is nothing but double standard and hypocritical. The caste-based reservation might have been useful back in the 1950s, but they aren't now. Some reserved caste would say that they are eligible for reservation according to the government. So why shouldn't they use it? Well, I would say that they are eligible, but is it morally right? They are also eligible to donate one of their eyes and kidney, but are they doing so? Today, reserved candidates would be going to top-tier expensive private schools, to posh malls every weekend, chilling in air-conditioned rooms while playing games on gaming consoles worth 2-3 lakhs alone, but still considering themselves eligible to take a reserved seat. They need to ask themselves before they enroll in a college through reservation that did they face any difficulty while paying the registration fee of the respective entrance exam or while paying lakhs to the famous coaching institute that they studied in. If the answer isn't affirmative, then they need to ask their conscience whether they are doing the right thing by claiming the reserved seat. Everyone can just talk about cutting down the caste-based reservation policies, but when it comes to implementing such things, the huge problem that lies is that 70% of India's population belongs to the minority. Yeah, you heard it right. The so-called minority counts to about 70% in the country. Ironic, isn't it? Therefore, if any move is taken to end the caste-based reservation, it would simply mean to go against 70% of the Indian population. Therefore, it is necessary that Indians who want to see the end of caste-based reservation system go against it themselves, because reservations do not solve the purpose of their existence. A fabulous writer who wrote on the same topic wrote, and I quote, "That day the realization dawned upon me that reservations didn't mean more space was created for certain sections of society. It only meant that someone's space was snatched away to accommodate somebody else, simply because that someone else was born into a particular caste." Our neighbor, Bangladesh, has recently ended the whole reservation system in government job. I know that this cannot happen anytime soon in India, given the country's present situation where people are protesting to be made eligible for reservation. Ours is a country where even talking about reservation is considered a taboo. That's the reason why film like Arakshan was banned in UP and Punjab, but at the same time movies like Udta Punjab and Kabir Singh, which portray drug intake as a heroic act, proceed to become nationwide blockbusters. But I think that we should at least do our duty and convince others. We have to get rid of our greed and think about future generation. Some people would say that reservations don't affect the admission process much. I would like to tell them that last year, from my coaching itself, a general category candidate who belonged to my school itself, having an all India rank of about 10,000 in JEE Advance, was denied a seat in a respectable college, who is now again preparing for a JEE as a dropper, while a student who wasn't economically backward but belonged to the scheduled tribes category, having an all India rank of 23,000, got a seat at IIT Delhi in mechanical branch, just because reservations provided him an upper hand. Now, does your conscience think of this as a fair situation? All the candidates who immorally avail reservation aren't actually socially and economically backward, but instead backward in mentality. A possible solution would be reserving seats in schools and coaching institutes for the reserved students at the undergraduate level rather than reserving seats at the colleges. It would solve a major part of the problem. The reserved would get equal opportunities and the undeserved would have a fair play field. To summarize my speech in layman's terms, and because the majority of us lie in the same age group, I would like to conclude the essence of my speech in the following language. I am not against Meena from Kota factory getting a reserved seat at IIT, but I am against a student having wealth of Sunio and intelligence of Nobita getting a reserved seat at IIT while Dekisuke is forced to take admission in an expensive private college. Also, I would like to add a thing that this reservation system isn't doing good to end the caste system. Instead, it is promoting it. I would like you to think that when was the first time that you were bothered about what your caste was? For me, it was the case when our school asked us in the 5th grade in a biodata that what was our caste. That was the first time that I got to know what my caste was. It might be the same case for you.